Good afternoon, everyone. May I respect the Dean of the Faculty of Education, Prof. Nina Nurmila, PhD, Head of PhD Study Program Bapak Bambang Smitono, PhD, Head of MA Study Program Ibu Tati Diwardi, PhD, all my dear lecturers, and all the participant are people I'm proud of. I am Novi Maria Krisnawati from PhD Batch 3, who will, who will be a moderator in our event today. Okay, before we process the main event, allow me to present the fourth agenda for today. The first is welcome remarks by the Dean of the Faculty of Education, and then the second is presentation of the material, and the third is Q&A session, and the fourth is souvenir giving ceremony. To begin today's event, we would like to invite the Dean of the Faculty of Education, Prof. Ninan Nurmila, PhD, to deliver the opening remarks. Please give a warm welcome to Prof. Ninan.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin wassalatu wassalamu ala Muhammadin sayyidil mursalin wa ala alihi washabihi ajmain amma ba'du. Thank you very much all for coming. I'm very glad to meet you here. And we have special guests from Pami. Thank you for your coming. Also, of course, our speaker, Professor Suharsi Madya, and other lectures, Pak Lukman, Bu Destina, Pak Bambang, and all the students and staff here. I'm very happy. Actually, in some of my life, I can be part of this university, Universitas International Indonesia, and even happier that why I'm happy to be part of Triple IU because I can meet such a great scholars who sit in front of us, and also, of course, like students like you, yeah, and even happier that being part of Triple IU can be inspirative scholars, professors such as Professor Suarsih Madya, yeah. Why I consider her to be inspiration? Because as you know, Professor Suarsi actually being hired by Triple IU to support one of it is to support our accreditation in the PhD study program. But from her, we can learn that she is over 70 years. But look, she can be mobile, traveling alone from Yogyakarta to Depok. So this shows many things. Yes. It's her healthy life, for example, because you might know that the age of retirement for ordinary staff is 58. No, I think becoming 60 after like 55. And then for general lecture, the age of retirement is 65 years old. But for the full professor, the age of retirement is 70. Yeah, not all people can reach the age of 70. But and then the new policy comes that after the professor retired, he or she can be hired again until the age of 75 or 79, even 79, if they are healthy. And to be healthy, of course, require lots of discipline, yeah, in terms of diet and mobility, yeah. So to work and to be mobile can make you healthy because I remember, I know someone who is very close to me. She imagined that if she is retired, she can enjoy life better. So she can be free to visit her grandchildren, her child. But what happened after retirement is that, well, after she has like morning exercise and then having a bath and praying duha, she will watch TV like from 9 o'clock until 12 in front of the TV. Sometimes she was sleeping, and then after a few years, she had like osteoporosis, osteoarthritis, because immobility lead to a disease and a misery in life. So please be like Professor Suharsi Madya, who up until now she is healthy and mobile. Yeah, she can share her knowledge to us. And today she will share her knowledge about intercultural learning and its potential contribution to global collaboration. Yeah, I think collaboration is very important in this age. I think it's from many years ago also, because collaboration can give us like mutual benefit. So let's hear from her. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you so much, Prof. Nina Nurmila PhD, for the welcome remarks. And then we go to the next agenda. This is the second agenda. It is the main agenda. In this second agenda, we have a very interesting topic. It is intercultural learning and its potential contribution to global collaboration. So, to discuss this topic, we already have a wonderful speaker in here, Professor Dr. Aga Hajah Swarsi Madya, MA, PhD. Please welcome Prof. Swarsi. Okay, before we start the presentation of the material, I will allow me to share a brief profile of Professor Dr. Aga Hajah Swarsi Madya, MA, PhD. So, Professor Dr. Ada Hajat Warsi Madya, MPhD, is an outstanding figure in English language education in Indonesia. Her educational background, the first Bachelor of Art and Bachelor Education in English Language and Literature Education from Yogyakarta State University, and then MA in Instructional Technology for English Teacher Development for Macquarie University, Sydney, Australia, and then PhD in Foreign Language Teacher Education for Macquarie University, Sydney, Australia. And then for the academic and professional career, serving as an English teacher education around 45 years, 47 years, observing at Yogyakarta State University. After that, she served as Professor Emerita at the Master Program in English Education, Sarjana Wiyata, Taman Siswa, Universitas Yogyakarta. And then currently he is a lecturer at the Faculty of Education, Universitas Islam International Indonesia or UIII. And then for the international and leadership experience, Professor Dr. Ada Haja Swarsimadia is education and culture attached at the Indonesia Embassy in Bangkok, and then head of Bureau of Foreign Cooperation and Public Relations, Ministry of National Education, and then head of Yogyakarta Special Region Education Office and Vice Rector for Cooperation Development Yogyakarta State University. And involved in professional organization, Professor Dr. Handa Haji Swarsi Madya is a president of TEFLIN and an Indonesian representative to Asia TEFL, President of Asia TEFL, Vice President of APERSI, board member of the UNESCO Institute for Education in Hamburg, Germany. And then work and publication, Professor Swarsi, as author of the book Language Teaching Methodology from the Pre-Method Era to the Next Method Era, and then active in writing scientific article on character education, culture-based language learning, and teacher development. So I think Professor Dr. Anand Swarsimadia is a progressive thinker who integrates language education with character building and cross-cultural cooperation. Her dedication has significantly contributed to the work of education in Indonesia and international. Um, and then without further ado, let's hear from Prof. Dr. Haja Swarji Madya, MA, PhD, about the intercultural learning and its potential contribution to global collaboration. With great respect, we invite Prof. Swarji Madya to share her insight. Lord, it's your program.
Thank you. Thank you very much for the nice introduction from Sonina, Obama, Ukman, and other lecturers, from Hamid, my special guest, and all students in front of us.
So I would like to share, and I have to thank you, Dina, for giving me the opportunity to share my knowledge and my experience and my worries, expectation or whatever. But listening to Pak Menteri Agama this morning, Pak Nazaruddin, I'm glad my topic is relevant because this university is looking to the more collaboration, not only national but also global, and it is the vision. So I'm really glad. Hopefully, this will be stimulating for you. But I don't intend to say that I know a lot, but at least it's based on my experiences. So I have contacted people from different countries, and finally I said to myself, "Oh, I'm grateful to be Indonesian." I think this is what we have enjoyed a lot, is the cultural diversity. Then the thinking is not here and there, but we try to balance between differences, and I think this is the most valuable treasure in our culture. Well, then when I was contacted, I decided to what should I do? What should I speak about? So I decided to promote intercultural learning. Why there's a great potential contribution to the global cooperation, collaboration. Hopefully, I'm a bit hectic, When, but I love joking, so I stay young. My heart is young all the time. So I'm enjoying talking with the young people here. Okay, in the cultural learning, what can you imagine in the culture? Must be more than one culture, right? So let's see what happened next. All right. When we are approaching learning through intercultural approach, we will have intercultural competence. So that is that. And of course, this will be related to global collaboration. Or if not related, supports the global collaboration. That's why it's worth thinking about integrated cultural learning into curriculum. And it has been done a lot in other countries. I don't know in Indonesia, but if we design that, it will be good. Yes. Okay. Hmm? Oh, sorry. Sofyan said to whatever direction. Oh, okay. Sorry. That is the proof that I'm old, Right. So why do we need need a double need okay, something at midnight in the cultural confluence in this globalizing world? Must be the philosophical question. Why? Because we have post-national movement. I think my PhD students, last time I explained you, the post movement is one of them is post-national movements, the borderless world, then with transnational connections being emphasized. So today we do not have to emphasize the inward looking, but we have to emphasize the transnational connections. Therefore, will lead to transnational collaboration. Then in education, we have post-transmission theories. Then these theories critique traditional models of communication that assume knowledge is simply transmitted from sender to receiver. Instead, they emphasize interactive, participatory, and networked forms of knowledge production. It's not only within the country or within, but we can collaborate with people from all over the world. I think Udina also last time went to Brazil, right? To design the networked production knowledge. Then you have this is the probably, so I don't want to talk about this, but this is to illustration only. Leading to that, then nations, institutions, and all groups need to collectively strive for a better life by answering global challenges. No group, no nation can do it alone. So it's we have to collaborate that, even in education. Then I quote Obama here, what Obama said. Our very survival has never required greater cooperation and understanding among all people from all places than at this moment of history. When we open our hearts and our minds to those who may not think like we do or believe what we do, that's when we discover at least the possibility of common ground. So among the different nations, we have common grounds. It's called universal values, okay? Universal concerns. So we are different, but we have this. Oh my God, sorry. So the imperatives of intercultural competence, I have to be quick because this 60 minutes. Sorry. We have the demographic imperative for international competence. So demographically, we are different from the past, right? Now more in Indonesia, it's we have more people from other in Java. We have more people from other islands, and in Indonesia, we also have students from other countries, and just mixed. It's like a big village. So we have that. We have to learn how to acquire intercultural companies and technological imperative for intercultural companies. Because of the technology, then we do not depend on ourselves, but we have to help each other in that. Economic too, trading. We cannot sell our products alone in Indonesia, right? We have to promote it in other countries. And peace imperative for international company. When we have a very low international competence, then we usually um, are faced with misunderstanding here and there. And if the misunderstanding is the level of the leaders of the country, there will be war. Okay, the tension will be there. Then interpersonal imperative for international competence. Sorry. So I think the PhD students here feel the need for intercultural competence. When you are from other countries, I learned in Australia. I was shocked at that time. I gave a talk in Sydney University, but later on you will see I was still very defensive at that time. I just realized after, oh my God. So at that time, the comment of my students are right, but I denied at that time. So we will see later on the continuum of international competence. Then, what about intercultural perspective in our education? Now, if we are talking about Indonesia as a nation, even within Indonesia, we need to have intercultural competence. I was born in Yogyakarta. I grew up in Yogyakarta. I studied in Yogyakarta. I got married in Yogyakarta. When I was in Sydney, I was shocked meeting people from Sumatra, from East Java, from Makassar who talk aloud, Oh my God. Said, why are they angry with me all the time? So I got my gastric problem there, and for a year I was sick. So I moved to another dormitory, and one day I heard someone shouting. Why? Oh my God, who's shouting that? Oh, my friend. Then I said, oh, it's not with me only, right? So I realized that I was, monocultural at that time. But later on, I was more peaceful with the environment after I understand that other people talk in different ways. Greeting is not bagaimana, it's not that, you support from Surabaya, who is the greeting there? It's a tabu in Jogja, Apa Destina. You know that, right? Within Indonesia, still. Then globalization, great changes have been taking place all over the world. Then we have more people mobility across the globe. Then more cross-cultural context among diverse linguistic and cultural groups is undeniable. Then these great changes have influenced all sectors: health, politics, business, and particularly education, part of which is the teaching of English. I mean, this one not only English, but the teaching of subjects. Okay. So, because of that, we have more job opportunities, but we also lost, right? Many jobs are lost, and new jobs are appearing. Then, but we have to have this one: more demand for interculturally competent employees. And I think I remember one of the workers in Korea just quit the job. Even the money is great because of the culture, because of that. So probably those who will send the workers outside should equip the employees with the intercultural competence. That is that's illustration in Indonesia. One group is of 10, more than 10 in fact. But then I have said that diverse. Then as globalization is getting more intensive, due to advancements in transportation and information technologies, peoples in the world need to possess cultural competence to ensure they can communicate effectively with others for different purposes, either directly face to face or virtually. So I give you an example of a letter which made my parents, foster parents in Australia, shocked heavily, because she opened the letter by saying, "Mr. John and Mrs. John, please forgive me for my misbehavior during my stay there in your house." Okay? Because she was saying, we were, whether she stole things or not. So we saw the whole, the whole house, nothing missing, nothing, nothing. Why? Why did she admit doing misbehavior? This is our culture. Opening a letter, maaf kalau membantu, maaf kalau salah, ya. But in their culture, it's not like that. So it's for a month, the couple, my parents, were pushing, and they invited me and then showed me the letter. And I thought, oh my God, John, this is the way Indonesian people, write the letter, apologizing for no reason, right? Constant. So this culture, so they laugh. Oh my God, we are pushing for 1 month. Huh? But this the answer is that one. Okay. So you have this one. I think I have this just okay. The tours here, the intercultural context, encounters, tours, youth exchanges, work study abroad, diplomacy, etc. And then we also learn that one's cultural identity and its possible strengthen. So if you interact with other people from other countries, your culture is getting stronger. Because when I was in Australia, many people asked me about Indonesia, and I knew a little. Therefore, I tried to find information about Indonesia. Then I tried to give as much as information. And I became more confident. Oh, that is okay. And I thought about Yogyakarta. It's very unique, right? So I sold at that time the information about that, and they respect me a lot. So they came to my table to ask more about Indonesia. So my knowledge about our culture is getting strengthened because I was challenged by the other countries. Like saying, Sulawesi, what language do you use at home? Oh, well, 3 languages. What? 3 languages? What are they? First is Japanese, second is Indonesian, third is English. How come? How come? At the time, in 81, okay, you're not born yet, right? So next, do you know Western music? Oh yes, of course. But how do you know? Oh my God. Do you have any, musical instruments there? Yeah, a lot. What is it? Guitar. How many? Oh my God. What do you mean by you? You people, the whole Indonesia. Oh, million probably. Millions of guitars. Piano? Yeah, piano we have. Cello? A lot. So, at that time, they knew nothing about Indonesia. So I have to sell. I had to sell information about that. And finally, they respect us because I show that we also had a Japanese script. Okay. Then I wrote my name in Japanese, though I knew that later on I was wrong. They didn't know. But at least they said, wow, your nation is intellectual because you have the script. Okay? So this is the proof of my experience told me that interacting with other people will make us more aware of our own country, our own so here. Then you have five here. The third is in the cultural reality. Then you have new conception of society, and you have intercultural collaboration aspiration. Then we realize that we cannot solve any world problem by working alone, even in Indonesia. Okay, so after learning about many things, then I come to this statement: education should be rooted in local wisdom, with national spirit and global insights. I don't know whether you may agree, disagree, but that's my belief. Without knowing our own culture, we will be very weak. Then I read a lot of writings and come to this statement, and I agree with that. So if the cultural competence is essential in today's globalized world because it empowers individuals to communicate, collaborate, coexist effectively and respectfully. This is very important across diverse cultural boundaries. So we can live, coexist, but respectfully is the same. We feel respected. The reason why we have this one from research, effective communication across cultures because of this one. Okay. So without that, and probably we will not uh, experience this. Then enhancing global collaboration, yes, of course, no one will deny that. You have conflict resolution and peace building. So I remember the language learning, audiolingual method, goes from language. The American government during the World War invited the linguist and educational psychologist Skinner. Okay, so they are commissioned to develop language learning, which will teach the soldiers to learn the languages of the nation in which they will be destroyed, because they will be mata-mata, right? So if the soldiers will go to Indonesia, they will learn Japanese or the local language. And the conflict resolution is there because the soldiers know the language so that they will not misunderstand it. And it was successful. Then also career advancement, of course, employability. And employees increasingly value global skills. That's now. What is that? The ability to adapt, lead, and negotiate in culturally diverse setting is seen as key leadership and employable skill. So no one will deny that. Then, of course, the civic engagement and global citizen. So this is what they have found in the studies. And of course, personal growth and identity development. And what is global cooperation then? Global cooperation refers to the process by which individuals, teams, or organizations from different countries and cultural backgrounds to work together either synchronously or asynchronously towards common goals using digital technologies and intercultural communication. So this university later on can build collaboration without spending too much money, right? Through the daring is Indonesian, yeah, but it's through the Zoom or whatever. Then the what is the core is global collaboration involve the ability to work across boundaries of time, place, organization, and culture, leveraging digital tools and communication skills to achieve shared objectives. Now, I remember I had a meeting held in California, but I was here. So I said to them, begging, please, please, by using appropriate language, then my topic, which is in the 10 item, becoming the first item. Please understand, now it's 11:30 here in Jogja. So, then it is all negotiation. So global cooperation with a global meeting without any constraint of time needs some time, need our skill in making them think about us. Okay? That's my experience. I learned from experience only. And using the highest sentence of politeness. Okay? They like politeness, not only Japanese, yeah? All people, even my supervisor at the time when there's very pressing time, I used the highest level of politeness, and he said, okay, okay, see me, 5 minutes only, right? But at the end, he gave me 20 minutes. That's negotiation, yeah, local. So several conditions, but we have several conditions for effective global cooperation here. One is digital infrastructure, because we cannot rely on face-to-face. Then shared goals, we have to have the same goals. As I have will lead the Asian Asia TEFL, we also have here, I remind them of the shared goals, not only focusing on the host country, for example. So every time they forget that. So as the oldest, I reminded them, please, not only China centered, not only Korea centered, but share with us, with the whole Myanmar here. So the goal should be leading the decisions of those who are involved in global cooperation. Then of course we have to have institutional support. If this university, for example, has been committed to building global cooperation, of course the institutional support from the university, from the faculty are needed. When I was the governing board of ICSE at that time, Pak Bambang was involved in ICSE. So when I chaired that conference, he was there. When I saw, oh, Pak Bambang Suminto is the same as that. So, that organization also emphasized the common goals. And then I said, look, do you still want our organization to be inclusive? Oh, yes, of course, it's set in the constitution. All right, okay. So the requirement of the abstract should be not flexible, but give those from developing countries to revise if the topic is good. We said, okay, okay. So, we have to voice our concern because of that, but this based on the set goal here. Then you have time zone coordination, like, my meeting in California, but from Jogja or Ohio State University, 12 hours difference. Then you have language competence, of course, English, but not just English, not English pasaran, yeah, but not, not market English, but English which is formal, cultural openness, then trust and psychological safety. Okay, should be then key components global cooperation, communication. You have that one. The criteria, teaching tools, problem-based or problem-based learning. There's also, can be even Nina can apply problem-based learning in management. in cultural understandings and leadership responsibility and collaborative inquiry. So you have to have the research, for example, where the same questions and we try to find the answer there. Then you have this one here. Intercultural competence is ability to interact respectfully, effectively with people from different cultural backgrounds. Look, respectfully, respect for us is different, not they from England, from that one. So we have to learn what is meant by respect, how to express respect in Europe, in America. Because once I thought I was polite and tried to respect. The American professor said, so I said, please, don't be too polite. Oh my God. You are very European. You are very British. I was wrong again. So it's very different. The Australian is in between. Who Destina is there. I think you know that. Then you have communication skill, of course, critical thinking, problem solving that I think is all here, not new to you. I don't want to have this one. So you have the reason collaborate uh, with more action here, solving global challenges, which requires collecting action. Then innovation, creativity, we think more in resource sharing with other countries, with other universities. There will be more creativity and more innovation. And in the 1990s, I was studying, no, I have a comparative study in New Zealand and in Australia, back to that. They have a shared interlibrary loan, whatever. Resource sharing, right? Because of that. 90s, so you are not, I think those who are still babies are probably then empathy, tolerance, and failure. Then, of course, preparing for global workforce. Then you have enhancing education through interdisciplinary perspective. And in the next 5 years, we are trying to build, to develop the learning approach, which is interdisciplinary, with this deep learning. You may have heard of that. But Andar is also attending the meeting of that. You may spread the news. Then empowering marginalized voices. I think it's important. Like what I said when I was attending a UNESCO conference in Hamburg, in one university, education. I tried to voice which was unheard because that organization only focused on Africa. Well, this is international. We have to make them hear the voices from other nations, for example. There's also need global competence, global communication competence. So now what is in cultural learning then? Because this global competence can be learned from intercultural learning, intercultural competence, intercultural global competence like that. So intercultural learning is a process through which individuals develop awareness, knowledge, skills, and attitude necessary to interact effectively and appropriately with people from different cultural backgrounds. It involves engaging with cultural diversity through reflection, experience, and dialogue. Look, do we have knowledge of other cultures? Yes or no? Yes. So we have to explore, open our hearts and minds to see the different values. Then cultural learning is from the research studies for the development of this one here. Cultural awareness, understanding one's own culture, like what I have told you, my own awareness was strengthened because of the challenge by other cultures. Then you also have knowledge of other cultures. Then you have skills of interpretation and relating. Look at knowledge of other cultures here. I have an interesting experience when I was creating a what is itinerary for the visit of the minister of Algeria. When I try to I ask my staff, look, you should be careful. This is Friday. Go to Borobudur, find out what mosque is appropriate for the minister. I was shocked. My other can help me. I was shocked when the Duta Besar, the ambassador, sent his deputy to meet me and protest. Man, sorry, religion is a personal affair. Oh my God. Oh, I forgot that Algeria is colonized by French, right? And this is secular. So this one is a real experience, and I was, oh my gosh, so I'm so sorry. So can you change the timetable? Oh yes, it's very easy. Oh, thank you very much. Thank you. So this is uh, knowledge of history will make us understand the present situation. Okay, so about religion, about the those countries colonized by French is a secular. Religion is a personal affair. Then interpretation, that's what's wrong. But the last one here, curiosity and openness. If you are not curious, you will not learn about other cultures. You have to be curious. If not, then no, it's not that. Then effective thinking. But intercultural competence is also not conclusive but we have conversational approach and developmental approach. When you have conversational approach, you can see here, dividing into the components, and this one here, but then not yet conclusive and fail to explain the interrelationship among variables. So as academic, we have to be more critical here, but at least there's some beginning of intercultural competence studies. So this is the mentioned conversational. You can see the elements, right? But in fact, we also have the. Oh my God, what's wrong? Hmm? Oh, yeah. Wait, oh, this one here. No, I want to forward. Yeah, it's there. What you can see here, if you want to remember here, you have cultural self-awareness, cultural specific knowledge, sociolinguistic awareness, which one is more polite, which one is not polite, which one is neutral, grasp of global issues and trends. But the skills, remember, those are from language, listening, meaning that here, no bias, no preoccupation, we have to listen without any prejudice, then observing intensively, evaluating using patience and perseverance. You have to be patient. Sometimes we are shocked. Oh, we are wrong. But if not patient, then we will misunderstood. Viewing the world from others' perspective is empathy there. But attitude here, respect, openness, curiosity and discovery. We try to discover new things out there. This discovery. But you have, I think this is all the same. Try to go to this one here. Now, this is developmental. That's what I mean. I was very defensive, denying, at the beginning, denial here, defense, and then minimization, acceptance, adaptation, and the integration. In myself, I'm now here. It's very different from before I went abroad. The more I interact with people, the more I try to be critical about my own attitude. So it's, reconstructing our personality. Is that here, integration there, but still critical. Moving from ethnocentric stages and towards ethno-relative stages, right here. Difference seeking. This one is difference avoiding. Try to avoid that. And my friends who failed to do that was very frustrated when we were doing master degrees and PhD degrees then, no, back in early 80s, you are not there. Right? Yeah. So you cannot imagine. Australia now is different from them. Then we have here denial. Mindset reflects minimal recognition of cultural differences, denying the differences and consists of a lack of interest in other cultural practices, inward looking. But then move into defense or reversal orientation are evaluative mindsets that tend to see cultural differences from us versus them perspective. So it's a kind of threatening thing in learning other culture. But then more interaction will towards minimization. There is transitional mindset between the more monocultural orientation of denial and then the more in cultural global will view acceptance and adaptation here. So what this emphasizes here is commonalities in human similarity, basic needs, and universalism. So because I myself reconstruct my personality all the time, I reached the minimization in the mid of 80s after being challenged by people from students from other countries at the time. Try to see, oh, you are different, not less defensive, but try to meet that. Then acceptance orientation, curious about other cultural differences, and attempts to recognize and appreciate patterns of difference in one's own and other cultural communities. So we try to see the uniqueness of that, then adaptation, and finally integration. So if we want our students to change from monocultural into diverse cultural point of view, we have to be patient through this one here. And it can be a good topic of research, in fact. This one here, the intercultural continuum, from monocultural mindset into intercultural mindset, from denial, polarization, minimization, acceptance, and adaptation there. Well, this is developmental here. First of all, the first is our attitude. If we have respect, openness, and curiosity, then we want to know other cultures by their knowledge and comprehension through the skills, listen, observe, evaluate, and analyze, interpret, and so we ourselves should be willing to change. Then you have, after that, we have desired internal outcomes from here, then desired external outcomes. Now you have a more, I don't want to, this one. So the basic is attitudes. I think those from other countries here have this one. You come here with your respect about our culture, your openness, and your curiosity, right? So that when you can come to Jogja to explore further, then because of that, you have knowledge through the skills. You are willing to listen without any prejudice, to observe what has happened, then to interpret, to analyze, evaluate, and relate yourself. Then you have that one here. You are adaptable, you are flexible, and you have a relative view, and you have empathy. And the manifestation is you behave, communicate effectively, appropriately, and to achieve one's goal of that one. My own practice of intercultural competence is an international organization. So I was involved with the UNESCO and the Asia TEFL and Apraxi and ICSE. I just learn and curious all the time and have a good spirit of learning differences. Probably that aspect is what has made me stay young. I don't know. So always curious about even my students. I sometimes explore what they think and their cultures, though they are not realizing that. when we are overalling, then I learn a lot from about the cultures of my students. So this one here already. That one. Sorry. What is the component here? You have to have the shared purpose and goal. So this is in international cooperation. When our university is working together with a Malaysian university, what we have to see is the shared goals. This priority. Without that, there's no support at all, right? Then cultural sensitivity and awareness, recognizing, respecting cultural differences and global themes. Then you have communication technology use. I think you have all this one, and teamwork and collaboration skills. Cooperation, negotiation, conflict resolution, and what's that? Task management. So when we have negotiation, sometimes we try to withdraw. Oh, not withdraw, yeah. To think about the out of the box and try to read what is the trend there, and then we enter with our negotiation. I just negotiate say, for example, the proposition of the uh, this invited speakers or plenary speakers of ASEAN. The host country wants almost all from China. No, 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 no. Look at our goal. We have to have, okay, two from China, two from Western countries, and the other four should be shared among the ASEAN countries, I think. And after I said that, all the members, I second. So I say, that's good. Then negotiation scaling. We have to take initiative when there is some problem there. Injustice, for example. Respect and trust, yes? Mutual respect and trust. Without that, if one is thinking higher than the other, no global collaboration. Now, look at this one. How intercultural learning is related to global cooperation. Intercultural learning serves as the foundation for effective global collaboration. As individuals engage in intercultural learning, they develop the attitudes, knowledge, skills essential for working across cultures. These attributes directly enhance one's intercultural competence, which in turn enables more meaningful, respectful, and productive global collaboration. So when we have intercultural competence within ourselves, it's very easy to make friends all over the world, believe me. But we have to be sensitive about what language will make them listen to us, will make them consider our suggestion that need more knowledge about their cultures. Okay, so I will write I will write my experience in that later on when because it's sometimes unique, very unique, very small thing, but it can open. So you have here both the ability to understand and bridge cultural differences. Okay. So if we want to conclude, intercultural learning is both a prerequisite and continuous process that enhances the quality and impact of global cooperation. Okay, that is the so if we have to build that, we probably embed it in the subjects. Now, this is also here suggestion from UNESCO here. Intercultural learning can be embedded across subjects through interdisciplinary approaches. For instance, literature classes to explore global narratives, history lessons can include multiple perspectives from world events, science or environmental studies can examine cross-cultural understandings about sustainability. Then you have inclusion of global citizenship education provides a structured framework for developing students' awareness of cultural interdependence and global responsibility. So I have that one here, just a moment. This one. This is the with this practice in different countries. You know, English, we have social studies, civics, history, geography, religious studies, ethics, philosophy. You have science, you have mathematics, arts and music, economics. You know, almost all can be, accommodated. This is this is university, education, teacher training, international relations, political science. We have political uh, faculty, right here. We have psychology and sociology. Then you have the law and human rights, business management, health sciences, environmental studies. So, intercultural learning can be embedded into existing subjects, not necessarily creating another subject. I think this one is okay. Um, what we have to remember is culture is not just art, dancing, singing, no, it's not painting, it's not that. Controlling that in some other contemporaries, at least there's a government system is our culture, you know. In Indonesia, very unique, right? Parliamentary or what? Presidential? No, I don't know. Then social organizations, we have economic system, we have knowledge system, we have knowledge system. Yes, there is also learning right here. For example, this is one of the cultural there. We have religious system, arts, tools, technology, and language. So all of these can be a topic of intercultural learning, seen from different subjects. This one here. So you have requirement in the cultural competencies. This one, respect. Then self-awareness of identity. You have to be very aware of your own culture. Then seeing from other perspective, worldview, and listening, adaptation, relationship, and cultural you. Now this one, the last one, cultural humility. We should not think that our culture is above the others, but we are what is that? Equal. Okay. Cross culture is different. Cross culture means minor in nature, but intercultural is equally. So we have to respect. This is I think, the um, influence of post-modernity. Then this one is those who want to later on the principles here. If you want to apply them, oh my God, there is a framework which I have adapted from my own and from it here. First, we are interacting with others, then we are noticing the differences, new things, then comparing to our culture, then reflecting which one is more adaptable, which one is more relevant, which one is more promising, etc. Then tentatively inferring and interacting. So this is a cycle. We design that. And my students research found that it's very effective in developing intercultural competence. This one is that one does. There's also framework here if you want to like that. But research findings is very important here. There are some research study here. Then intercultural learning is in schools significantly enhances students' global competence. There's research study. And then the cultural knowledge and confidence here. Then I have just found some research studies here. The What the statement is that intercultural competence will enhance the students' personality in terms of culture. I think it's almost finished here. It's just some the same. Those who want, if you are interested in research studies, then I have the articles. Okay. So my conclusion: the strong argument have been put forward for the needs for intercultural competence, which can be achieved through intercultural learning and global collaboration to answer various challenges in this global world. A strong argument has also been put forward for the close relationship between intercultural competence and global cooperation, This has provided good reasons for developing theories of intercultural competence and learning through research. Although the results of research on concepts of intercultural competence have not been conclusive, research findings have indicated positive impacts on intercultural learning and competence. To provide further or more evidence for positive impacts of intercultural learning and competence, further research was conducted. And I think I challenge the PhD students here to get research of the residents, what is that you got it, Mark? The resident, the scholarism can be filled in with the culture. Thank you very much. I hope it's
Thank you so much, Professor Simandia, for the advantageous material and insightful material. When we're talking about intercultural learning and its potential contribution to the global collaboration, I think intercultural learning fosters the development of intercultural competence, which is essential for effective global collaboration in addressing complex transnational and interdisciplinary challenges. And I really like with Prof. said that interact with other people can make us more aware. This is, I think, with interacting, we can know so many unique characteristics, and then that is part of our culture. So, because knowing our culture can make us more aware. So, we can continue to the third agenda. It is about Q&A question. Q&A session. For who want to ask, for all the participants who want to ask question, please speak directly with raising your hands. Okay. Okay. Who is want to ask?
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, Prof. Swarsi, for the chance. My name is Paradila Haryani. I'm a PhD student, batch 2 from Faculty of Education. This is a very insightful presentation, knowing that I'm also interested in culturally responsive pedagogy. What I'm actually going to questions to you is you mentioned about the intercultural learning is very important, especially for building the global collaborations. Uh, I wonder whether this intercultural learning is actually can be applicable in Indonesia, especially knowing that the potentials of Indonesia has a very rich cultural diversity. So we know that not all the schools has the possibility of having global collaborations with other countries. But I see the potentials of this kinds of intercultural learning framework that these kinds of framework can be very beneficial and very potential in building their awareness, especially for their own rich diversity in the local in Indonesia. So another question is, do you think that this is actually aligned if we are actually apply these kinds of learning framework in within Indonesia? Like in the schools, we know that every student has their own cultural backgrounds. I even conducted one of the studies in mathematics, like the way they are actually using the language to explain some kinds of mathematics terms is different. That it's actually interesting to see how their local knowledge is actually affecting the way they are thinking about some things, which is in Indonesia before we are coming to the other countries. So I think that's all. Thank you, Professor.
Thank you so much, Prof. Hania, for the question. I think this is we can then.
yeah. If I'm answering this properly, will stimulate other student to ask questions. That's very interesting. When we are interacting with other people, we see differences, right? So by that, you say, "Oh my God, why is that?" So instead of giving our personal meaning without any we ask, what do you mean by that? In what situation? So exchanging of habits, cultural custom, everyday life is very meaningful. Then in Indonesia, I agree with you. Before, for example, before knowing cultures of those far away, first know your own culture. In Yogyakarta, I'm involved in Pramuka. So we create Pramuka Istimewa. So my program is making the Pramuka Istimewa aware of own culture, starting from Kalurahan, and then they exchange with other Kalurahans, another Chamat, and within the country. And then through technology, they can exchange cultural knowledge with those from other provinces. And then last time they built collaboration with New Caledonia. New, New, New Caledonia. They are exchanging cultural knowledge. So they are, enthusiastic because they are learning about new things. And it's right that you have ethno mathematics, right? So I also interact with those my colleagues from mathematics because I love mathematics before. Now, not now. So each culture here has its own way of expressing, mathematical thinking. I think it's good. So the education should make use of this fact to make the students understand about the concept of mathematics. But unfortunately, in the 80s, we took English British curriculum, which is A level. Oh my God, A level is advanced and should be O level, ordinary. So I think thank you that you are from mathematics. So please improve or revise the mathematics education here by considering the local wisdom. So therefore, my statement is that education should be rooted in local wisdom, local way of thinking, but not limited. Then later on, expanding into national spirits and global perspective. So I think it's good. It's a line in Indonesia. We need, in fact, it's imperative for us to have cultural learning. Now, I'm glad I have visited almost all provinces in Indonesia. So I can see, wow, it's always, I'm motivated to know more and to interact with other people, even from Tigo, Merauke, and you have the Ternate and the Ngada and NTT. And I interacted with people from 36 countries because I had the opportunity to visit that with my position at that time. So, it's no, what do you call it? Motivation is always here and always curious about that. So when I left Sarjana Wiyata Ibu Nina, my rector said, Ibu, kenapa harus pindah sih? Dari sini aja ngajarnya. Oh my God, Bapak yang diminta tuh home base-nya. So I said, Bapak, saya itu orangnya bosenan. So I was curious with the new environment. So I came here with a new spirit. And I'm glad I meet Nina and students from different countries. From them, I learn a lot about other cultures. Okay? So I agree with you. Okay? That is alignment of the ethnomathematics, ethnomathematician. Yeah? I talk a lot with Professor Marsikit from Jogja, who is in line with that. Okay.
Okay, thank you so much, Professor C. And then any other question? Isan, do you want to ask? Yeah. Isan, please.
Thank you so much, moderator and professor, for a super opportunity. I'm also interested about this topic and exploring it from the perspective of interfaith and intercultural uh, within a classroom setting. So let's say a teacher has to teach students from different tribes, different culture, and you cannot avoid that some majority of the students within a classroom setting will be from one particular tribe, and it can be the dominant in that aspect. So how do you suggest that? Because in this particular aspect, we can take a look at teachers as some sort of an agent of positive change because they will influence when the children grow to be more intercultural competent. And I think in a lot of ways, it can translate to better social harmony, especially in a country wherein they have different faith, different culture. So I think the challenge here is about the interfaith aspect, especially when in a country, taking a look from a minority perspective, not considering the dominant one, the minority one, how can they challenge how can they, what do you call this, find equilibrium or balance? Thank you.
Okay. Can I answer this? Well, it's a very interesting question. You are talking about minority, right? In the classroom, for example. So we have to have inclusive attitude. Usually, if here in Jogja, I usually have some minority students from different areas. Right? What I've done so far, I pay more attention to the minority group, giving, at the beginning, for example, and then later on, I have what you call it, pair work, sometimes small group work, and I have the question: can you find out differences of habits among your communities in English? Because I teach English, okay? So they are enthusiastic, even habits of eating, habits of family gathering, everything. They are very enthusiastic. When I was involved in preparing the students going abroad, I took this intercultural learning approach, and I asked the people from Papua to present the way they cook, the way they serve, everything, And suddenly they are all talkative, They are all talkative and proud of them. But then next, you have to find out others' habits. So they are exchanging. And finally, they present what they have found from the class, from their own perspective. So I think this should, in my experience, is the most effective way, not excluding everything, being inclusive by what you call it, by making sure that the feelings of the minority group, is not down, should be uplifted. And along my career, I experienced this because in Jogja there are some titipan, from titipan. Titipan is what do you call it? Affirmative policy students from Papua, from here who lack experiences, and then I try to meet them in other outside the class to have them feel respected, dignity is being ensured, and then in the classroom pairing, and I usually ask the student from majority to ask questions to the minority group so that the minority group will talk a lot about what they know. Okay? You know what I mean? You see my point? So we have to ourselves, we have to really sincere to show respect that human beings are equal. Okay? About interfaith. Once I was in the dormitory in Australia, when suddenly I found the Bible in the WC, lavatory. What you see? I said, no, oh my God, I'm not happy with this. So, you have to respect your religion. I said, and they said, Suwasi, you are not Christian. Why do like all that? No. I respect all religions. He said, oh. So you respect that. How did you learn that? What? How did you? How and when did you learn to respect other religions? Oh my God, I'm from Indonesia. Pancasila, you know. What is Pancasila? So I try to that interfaith should have dialogue. So I exchange it, not the sensitive one, but like for example, charity is also, you know, across the religion, right? Helping others, you know, if they want to have a what do you call it exchange about the more serious concepts, I said, look, you have to be neutral, not involving your feeling, but you have a kind of what do you call it, neutral, yeah. What is that? Impartial. Getting my English. Impartial and being scientific, so that not involving, you know, things, and they work. And I also did that. And one student really, not one student, the tutor in that dormitory asked me, Sumasi, can I ask you a question? Oh, yeah, of course, what? Do you know about Jesus? Yeah, I know. Oh, what do you know? Then I mentioned the miracles. And this is our Islam class, right? And I also opened, oh, you know more than me. Okay, then. So then after that, he peacefully had a dialogue with me, exchanging the basic concepts of our religions, you know. So I have experienced the most sensitive one in dialogue, if you call it cultural, yeah, the one of religion can become our culture, right? When it's already there, and no problem. But we have to show respect. We, we, we do not impose, you know what I mean? We do not impose any idea. This is our belief. This I just inform you. I don't want to influence you, I said. Okay, okay. No influence. No, 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 no. Okay, let's have a discussion. So we have a long discussion and nothing happened. Meaning that, you know, still peaceful. In our classroom, in my class, it's also the same. You know, about there's exchanging about, say, for example, there's holidays, right? So they are exchanging about their own holidays, but in English. Okay, so they are still thinking the terms, right? So that's neutralize the situation because they do not know how to express bad feelings. So there's a good feeling. The most sensitive in the cultural competence is that faith, in the faith. But if you show your respect to, to others with respect, it will be okay.
Okay. One more, is there?
Thank you for the opportunity. So my name is Maulana. I'm from Language 3. So to have intercultural learning, I consider we should have a teacher who has intercultural competence because this is the key to have the intercultural learning. So considering the challenges faced by the teacher in Indonesian context, for example, lack of teacher welfare and then limited opportunity and the incompetence in international languages. Of what is your suggestion or your best way to improve the teacher intercultural competence? Thank you.
Okay. Um, Nomor traffic.
Okay, before answering yours, Venice times the model. How can, wow, this is to Nina, UII. How can UII, as an institution that embraces interculturalism, design, create more learning opportunities to have that? I think one is integrating into the subjects. You want to topics, relevant topic with the relevant for the research studies or issues, the issues, and also I remember we were in Makoni University, in my university. That university facilitated the intercultural conference by learning by uh, holding barbecue. In that barbecue, the student mingle and try to share, the way they think. For example, hey, do you have this kind of cooking in your country? I said, no, but we have satay. I said, so I explained about satay. The other one, oh, we have, but it's not that one, but in Papua you have, with a stone, for example. So, extracurricular can be designed to that, not only inside the country, sorry, at the class, but you can also embed that into subjects, research or whatever. Okay, qualitative research, for example, can be about that. Then you have here, what's that? Bangladesh. Okay, one language is still one of my key drawbacs in interacting with people. And I also found many other friends from a foreign country less interested in Bahasa Indonesia. So, wow. In my former university, we have we have tutors employing our students to guide the foreign students to go to the market, bargaining. You have that one here, and all hiring beca, how to what is the approach. So we employ students, the senior students, to go with them, and they have to report in Indonesian. But in Yogyakarta, Bahasa Indonesia is not always in the market. So why Japanese? So they are learning both. What I mean is, intercultural competence can be acquired through formal learning and informal learning outside the classroom. But the students should have curiosity. Okay? When you are not curious, you will not learn. When you are not open, you will not. So, what is Bahasa Indonesia? Bahasa Indonesia first, for example, Bahasa Indonesia is phonetic language. Only R is the A, B, C. A is always pronounced R, right? Then I is always pronounced E. So we have to have the key of that. And I applied the intercultural learning approach when we train the students from different countries in Jakarta. But for practice, we send them to different places, to the station, to the market, to, with senior students from English department, because if there is stuck communication, they can explain in English. So we both here. And only that, right? Oh, your question too. What is the question? Maulana, kata dia. Oh, the teacher. That's the hardest challenge. The teacher who is senior, sometimes, oh my God, it's not easy to change, right? Without any curiosity. But I have a friend who is learning a new culture, Indonesian, with questioning all the time, That curiosity, if they do not they do not have growth mindset, no way, right? So how you will stimulate the teachers to change? Why don't you present something interesting and then ask them to guess? So the meaning that you have to stimulate their curiosity uh, related to their own life. I think they will be good. If they like fashion, why don't you present something fashion from other countries? If they are cooking, you can present some food, different types of food to them. So this is meaningfulness of learning. Without that, no way. And my friends who at the same time with me, not all are curious at that time. But my curiosity is probably too much. I never sit down. I always explore and play tennis with the Vietnamese, and we won one cup at that time. And playing billiard, with other while talking about the culture. So there are many ways of exchanging that. But without any curiosity, you will not learn anything. Okay? So stimulate that diversity. I think that's my answer, Maulana. Thank you for your question.
Okay, thank you so much, First Mercy. I think this is wow, very fantastic, very wonderful, and very insightful discussion. Because when we talking about intercultural, it is very related with our country, bro. In our country, we have so many, and we have so many culture. We have the diversity, and it can be maybe in Professor ever said about the personalized learning. Also, it can be related to the implemented in the classroom. So, because today we have a limited time, I think this is for the last agenda, and then the last agenda is about souvenir giving ceremony. So, the conclude, we would like to present to token of appreciation to the speaker as a gesture of gratitude. So, please join us in this moment of appreciation, prosperity, and improvement. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that is our series of event for today. Again, thank you so much for Swasimadia for your knowledge and the sharing very insightful material. As a moderator, I apologize for any shortcoming in hosting this event. Hopefully, what we have gained today will be beneficial and become a legacy. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. See you next time. Yes, yes, yes.